kind of their default punching bag whenever they feel like, wow, we can't go lapu-lapu, there's no Benedetta. All right, Fredrin.
Fredrin, the safe pick.
The very safe, unkillable, almost unkillable.
Almost unkillable. With that being said, the draft is going to be starting up soon. I feel like DEWA United are going to start preparing for Game Lab's adjustment, and I think a lot of that adjustment is based around whether or not the EXP is going to be elusive, or whether or not their jungler still wants to go for that full damage build.
If I remember correctly, this is not how their gaming room looked like a few months ago.
Things have changed, you know,
Yeah,
they've upgraded themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Felt like an upgrade for sure.
Maybe it's the camera angle. Maybe it's the camera angle.
It
I
could,
remember
yeah.
the camera angle being higher for sure.
Oh yes. That could be the case, right? It was the same. It was high for them and also Euphoria.
Well, if this is going to be the case, hopefully we can see laners from the side of Game Lab that can actually force out priority. DEWA United, it looks macro-wise, they're making good decisions. Team fight-wise, I think they're looking better than Game Lab, actually.
And they were just preying on Game Lab's instinct to start these fights. When you see the Eve, every time the big ultimates get used, it's to trap DEWA United, well, it's to trap Game Lab once Game Lab realizes that they don't have enough damage to finish the job. It's always, we reel you in and then we punish your aggression. DEWA United is going to be on the blue side this time, so we have a side swap. The bans, so far, they remain the same. Fanny and 1-1 banned out.
Alright, the big question is whether they care about... Oh, I was going to say the Valentina farm is in glue, but DEWA United instantly answered the question. We don't want you to have this Valentina.
Honestly, I think they also have... We are also seeing a bit of a pattern, right? The bans are to punish Aizawa. The picks are to punish her boss.
Oh, okay. I like the sound of that theory. Let's see whether it's facts here for DEWA United. As they're going into the third ban, if it is going to look to punish Aizawa, I think this is where they get rid of either Yve or they get rid of the Farmis, right? Or Glue, one or the other. I think it's Yve or Glue.
Or they can just take the Yve because they have the first pick. Are there any other priorities?
Actually, no, they just ban out the Yve, right? Because then you get Farmis, and if the opponents get Glue, it doesn't really matter. And if Game Lab decide to ban out the Farmis, at least you get the Glue first pick. So I think Yve is probably... I'm making some hard guesses here with DEWA United.
They ban the Farsa. Okay, so they ban the Farmis.
Oh, okay, so they don't mind dealing with artillery mages. Interesting, interesting. All right, so Game Lab, let's see how they're going to respond to this, right?
This could allude to the Glue ban for sure. I mean, they did win the Yve into Farsa matchup, right? As a whole, so probably don't feel too worried. But for Game Lab, I feel like DEWA United probably wants that Glue ban, ideally.
And I don't think it's that bad. Honestly, even if Game Lab decide, you know what, I'm gonna let the Glue through, there's still plenty of options to kind of maintain to minimize the damage that Glue actually provides in the backline, being this unkillable tank that chases you down and pulls you out of position. I mean, Melissa is still available, for an example. I thought Game Lab was listening in on the cast, and they weren't going to ban out that Kaja, so now this is going to be a Glue opener for DEWA United, I would assume?
Yeah. There are a few options to deal with Glue. I mean, aside from the Farmers, we've seen tank shredders like the carry, and Melissa sometimes gets picked up. But also the Benedetta, right? If the Glue not the best at catching you, so we're looking at these proxies. Wonder if Game Lab would go for that, to go down that direction for her boss. Glue does get locked in by DEWA.
Yeah. I'm more interested to see whether Aizawa is going to get his comfort pick in the Yve.
Yes, it has to be, right?
Yeah. As well as the Lancelot, but of course only naturally.
Only naturally, I think, unless Lancelot gets removed permanently, Takenaga is gonna always go for it first.
Exactly.
But it's pretty interesting because Game Lab, when they played Season 2, there was a long period where Lancelot was always first place pick, and then you go in deeper into the challenge playoffs, they stopped picking Lancelot first. They put Lancelot as the fourth or fifth pick. Now they're going back to the first pick Lancelot.
I don't know whether it's because of like scrim results or how the players are feeling that day. It could be one of those outside factors for the side of Game Lab, but let's see how DEWA United Esports is going to respond to this, right? Because since Kaja is gone, they could technically look for another suppress, or in this case, yes, the Kadita.
Oh, all right, Game Lab. They definitely had to pick their poison. It's either the Kaja or the Kadita.
That's a
I
lot
mean,
of pressure.
they're not gonna make the same mistake. Kadena was banned in the second phase, right? So DEWA United just move it up the priority list.
I mean, the best part about it is the fact that it can be flexed around here,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So if GameLab are thinking, you know what, let's ban out supports, but then it's like, but there's Kadena. Then they go back, you know what, let's ban out Majors. They look back at DEWA United Esports' roster and it's like, but they still have Kadena.
You basically cannot hard read this, right?
Yeah, it's too difficult to hard read. It's too difficult to hard read. So I think GameLab probably have to think about other different options here. Like, even if they do decide to give away Farsa, for example, is it worth locking in this Grok? Now, let's keep in mind, as much as people love Grok and the fact that it has anti-CC, Grok is especially weak to magic-style damage. Well, just magic damage in general.
Yeah, and it's also it's not easy to catch a Kadita, right? It's more maneuverable, and obviously the one-shot potential is going to be there. GameLab banning out the Franco. That is, I mean, it's very obvious to protect Takenaga. The Arlot also finally banned out by DEWA United.
And I'm surprised that GameLab didn't pick up Arlot as their third
Right.
pick there, but instead wanted to go for the Grok. But I mean, it's good that they have the Grok, right? The Grok also kind of fulfills the same quota that Kadita does, right? It keeps you guessing about what the roles are going to be. And if DEWA United Esports decide, I don't want Kadita as my main mage, I want Farsa as my main mage, you already have the Grok.
Her boss does play a pretty nasty Grok.
Pretty nasty? Very nasty
Very.
Grok.
Last man is going to be the Link.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of respect to Lanaya.
Yeah.
But remember, he does still have the Hayabusa.
He still has the Hayabusa, but at least if DEWA United Esports falls behind, they can't really recover from it that well, because you don't have something like a Finch Poise to kind of close the distances and cover large spaces on the map.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, DEWA United, last man.
They're gonna be looking at Havos again. Last game they banned the Yuzhong last. Not really sure. Do they still need the Yuzhong ban? I don't think so, right? It's not as important this game.
I don't think that it matters too much. Well, I mean, if they do decide to get rid of the Yuzhong, it does feel like they're leaning more towards picking up a Farsa, even though Grok is there anyways. But instead, they're going to be banning out the Melissa. Thank goodness. Now, Glue is basically going to go around untouched.
This could feel like another Claude game for GameLab, for your TZ. What else do we have? I mean, Beatrix is carry, I guess. That's another option, but you open yourself up to a lot of these 100 to zeros, right?
That's the thing. That's the thing. I think it's really scary. It's a bit of a gambit on either side. If they go for a short range marksman, it incentivizes DEWA United to go for that Farsa. And yeah, so we do see the carry here. They don't want Glue to be able to walk around, but plenty of true damage free hits coming in for that carry. Should take care of him. DEWA United Esports. Let's figure out whether this Kadita is going into the support position. Oh, yeah. Wow. They don't even go for artillery mages.
It is going to go into support position.
Huh.
Honestly, I thought GameLab would open with Havos' hero first, just to see, you know, maybe whether the carry is going to be a better option towards the end. But I guess it doesn't really matter, right? When you go down the list, there's not much left.
Yeah.
It's going to be Lanaya on the jungle Fredrin. Okay.
Wow, this is really interesting. Okay, so GameLab here, what they can do, they can go for something like aggressive, hard engage, like Khalid. I think the best one is going to be Benedetta. Or if they want to start attacking the backline, try to force out early ultimates, the Yuzhong kind of works in the same manner. We saw that Lapu Lapu didn't exactly provide enough for the team, so I'm guessing Benedetta is going to be the next best bet.
And yeah, and in terms of bullying the lane, at least you can go more even with the glue, right?
Oh wait, hold on. Now that I think about it, they already have the Grok, so technically...
they can still go for a roamer.
Yeah, they still can go for a roamer. Lolita isn't that bad.
Ah, there it is. There's the Benedetta.
All right, it's time for the traditional GameLab. Hands together. You go.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, let's go.
GG easy. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't see his mouth, man.
what can you chant 3 times and sound good?
GML. I can't think of an acronym fast enough. Enter another world 3 times in a row.
That could be. That one sounds nice. All right, game number 2. We see the Havos Benedetta. We've been kind of talking about it a little bit. You know, maybe it would show up, and GameLab finally shows it. Though Havos' Benedetta is definitely different from what we saw just now in our previous series from See You Soon. Comparing that and what's his name again?
From which team?
From a See You Soon.
from CU
Benedetta.
Phoenix.
Phoenix, right, from
Yes.
Phoenix. It's definitely a different archetype, right? Her boss is more durable, lesser damage, it's all about cutting the wave, not fighting as much. But it is also a pick that we have seen getting countered, countering the glue, I think, from the ID side last season. I want to see how it interacts again.
Well, let's find out here as we drop right into the middle of the game. DEWA United on the blue side up against GameLab here. And I think, Husky, your predictions might actually... What? Havas died level 1? What happened? I'm looking at the EXP lane. I see both Glue and as well as Keys showing up into the lane.
He got glued to the ground and blew... I mean... I know I say about punishing her boss, but man, this is torture.
This is hate. This is personal.
This is personal. From this point onwards, like punishing him is he makes a bad move, you kill him off. This one, he hasn't even made a move yet and he dies.
That's really, really unfortunate there. And I think they cheesed them very nicely. It allows Keys to hit level 2. And in the meantime, Shinko mode, hitting level 2 for him is actually really, really big as a roamer. Because at level 1, you don't really do too much until you hit level 2.
Yeah, and I think the best part is that, I mean, Havas, she understands this matchup pretty well, right? You can eventually just outmaneuver the glue, you can proxy his wave, you can outfarm him. And by punishing Havas, you literally slow down the pace and you buy space for Dyson.
But let's keep in mind that Keys was the one who secured the kill, not the glue. So they want to make sure that Keys is strong in this mid lane because he will be able to outpush basically any mage in the game in the earlier stages thus far.
And he's been able to already do that. I mean, Aizawa getting absolutely out-traded. Makes sense early on, you just don't have enough to deal with the Dark Matter. Shackle mode, it's going to be in danger. Takenaga showing up. He has already recovered most of his health. Takenaga uses the puncture. A couple more auto attacks to be there. The petrify, the knockup. Might have enough damage, but Takenaga finds the iframe, and then Azura Skies can't follow up.
Okay, Yuk TZ was playing his life there, making sure that he was adjusting according to where Azura Skies is going to be. They could dive this, but no. Takenaga doesn't have a wave. He's going to focus on stealing camps.
Turtle does go over to DEWA United. They take the opportunity to secure it. And you can see her boss starting to proxy the waves. And that will draw Shackle mode onto the top side, right? You want to continue pressuring her boss. Ooh, the knockup does miss. But you still have Lanaya there. Her boss, the eye for an eye. Just like, I mean, this guy is so smooth.
He's so
How does he does it?
I don't know how sharp. I don't know. Maybe he drinks a lot more Monster Energy drink than I do.
100%. He reacts really fast.
But in the meantime, while all this was happening, DEWA United Esports forcing the vertical jungling out of GameLab. They've invaded the top side of the map, took away that orange buff, and GameLab has to just respond by doing the same.
And Hardy finally hitting the level 4 as well. Trying to help out Azura's guy is going to be there. Not an easy target to go on though. Takenaga late to the party, so this is already a done deal. I don't think they can get engaged.
Yeah, I mean, there was an opportunity for Elo Hardy to try and force out a flicker from Azura Skies there, but...
They did force out the flicker from Aizawa.
Yeah, that's true. Havas proxying the wave as per usual. Will hit his level 6 off of this. 46 more seconds until the turtle is going to show up. I want to see whether GameLab is making a play somewhere across the map.
It's going to be I mean, top side is going to be a dead lane for sure, as long as Havas is going to be around. Will be with his team right now. The Petrify is back up, but he doesn't have his ult.
I mean, there's nothing to really fight for, right? And like even DEWA United recognize this. They're like, there's no... Oh!
Now wild charge used. It's a good disengage from Elo Hardy. 4 members of DEWA United showing bot side as Havas goes back up top to deal with the proxy from Dyson.
Okay, so this is great. With Elo Hardy, by the time the turtle spawns, he's going to have about like 20 seconds, 20 if not less than 20 seconds left on the wild charge to come back up. But in the meantime, oh man, Dixon, he's so...
Takenaga secures the orange buff. Havas looking for a flank angle, or at least looking for something. Turtle started up very quickly by Lanaya as this glue is keeping Takenaga at bay, so the turtle once more will belong to DEWA United.
Yeah, Takenaga kind of struggling to get onto the pit here. Gives it up entirely.
I mean, Dyson, he is he's single-handedly stopping 2 members of GameLab.
And this is why teams don't like letting Glue through, or that's why Farmis is such an important pick. Oh wait, Shackle mode.
Wants to use the ultimate to get away. Ilohardi, good wild charge on the 2. Now with the RWM, finding the kill in the Shackle mode and keys. Finally, GameLab gets something.
A beautiful Nature's Barrier there to cut off Tri-Brush, knowing that the Ocean Oddity was already down, and knowing that the Rough Waves was going to tie him out, forcing them to have to take a 1-second detour and punishing them for it.
The Naya showing up to the show late, but it's Ilohardi on the ground. Not much that they can do if Takenaga even taking the orange buff away. They will try to get something done, but Takenaga just too mobile. And again, another good Nature's Barrier to stop Shackle mode.
Ilohardi and Yuktizzi are just waiting for somebody to overextend, and even Lanaya. Oh, the solo kill onto Havas down by bot side.
Dyson did have to use the flicker, but the solo kill still, nonetheless, very valuable. Ilohardi also goes down.
Yeah, honestly, Keys is just controlling the mid lane so very well, right? And especially if there's somebody who can enable him even more. With the Mystery Shop as well, he's got more than enough damage built inside of him. He just needs a partner.
While that was happening, Azura's guys pushed the entire bot tail on down, and Yuktizzi is going to be here to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big bang. Yuktizzi dashes forward, dodges the majority of the damage from his Beatrix. Ilohardi will be there, but fortunately, he's not going to be there anytime soon. Havas, the I-4-9, dodges the damage from the Praesto's Wrath, surviving because of that. Mike Takenaga looking for something, but GameLab just does not have enough damage.
Yep, and this 5v4 down by the spot side is great for DEWA United Esports, right? They have that Glue pushing up on that top side. They have taken both side lane tier 1s, and now they just need to crack open mid tier 1.
Takenaga against Lanaya, he's doing virtually just not much damage. iFrame's gonna be there, he still gets rooted down, glued to the ground. Takenaga able to use the dash resets to get out as Ilohardi and Havas will show up. Lanaya might be the target as Havas. He's looking for some sort of that entry. Keys is gonna be there, but he does have to purify. And then Black Shoe, Ilohardi able to flicker away. Turtle secured by the side of Lanaya, and they end up losing Ilohardi again. Black Shoe is used by Keys, regained most of his health. In GameLab, they don't have much to follow up. As Shackle mode also gets away, Aizawa barely making it out with his life. Takenaga straight to the back looking for Shackle mode. And the Rough Waves getting him out of there. And Voss still on the chase, finally cuts him down, but Takenaga might end up getting sacrificed to puncture. Enough distance gained to keep him alive, and Havas will get out of here as well.
Unlucky, Azurasize didn't change his weapon in time. He was still holding Wesker. If he was holding Nibiru, those bullets would have homed in on his target. Doesn't matter the range, as long as the auto attack came out before he leaves his line of sight. Nicely done there by GameLab to try and pull it back, but DEWA United is still in this lead, and I think the tech, hopefully this hasn't really affected the overall gameplay. We'll iron out these tech issues.
Yeah, and especially, again, I think GameLab was the one who called for a pause. So hopefully things are all good over there. I mean, yesterday they also unfortunately had, I think, like 2 pauses in their series, right?
Maybe they were disrespecting DEWA United and like, okay, I'm bringing out the Samsung. Just give me a,
oh,
give me a moment.
Havas is gonna do it again. No. I mean, they could have made this easier if they just use it from the beginning, but no. Wait until you are... When everything is on the line, that's where they whip out the big boys.
That's when they whip out the big boys. But in the meantime, I think we can start talking about the way DEWA United are actually kind of overcoming GameLab here, right? They found a lot of good punishments on Havas, and especially with that clue getting solo killed, the early cheese to put him behind, then the solo kill to guarantee lane dominance, and now with this Lilia pick, I am loving it so much, right? I would have expected an artillery mage very typically, but man, the early aggression and the way that they can kind of just peel away the GameLab members as soon as they dive.
And Lakis has been also stopping Aizawa from making meaningful moves early on, right? Like he constantly has to do with the shove, and you don't get to out-shove the Lilia in any capacity.
Not yet. Not until we see some better items from Aizawa. But so far, I think based on his item build, he's only got the Queen's Ice Queen wand. Lancelot. Oh wait, Takenaga actually going for the defensive build this time.
I mean, he's learned his lesson. Don't want to get 5-shotted by Beatrix again. That's how he has been surviving.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that. Okay, he's caught out Black Shoes use just in time. Now Lanaya comes in, counter engage. He's gonna be there. RWM finding a trade. So 1-for-1. Ilohardi is the price that they pay. Voss not doing too good. Azura's guys have been Wesker almost absolutely blowing Havos's face off.
Oh man, if he was able to get Wesker off, the Wesker ult off in time, I think he should have been able to get the kill, but Havos already created too much distance. Even Nibiru's passion coming out there? Alright, alright.
Yes, sir. Just in case Havos dashes into him.
I mean, even if he does, Venice Rage comes out, clears out the wave, it's tough. Havos is not going to find any space on this side, but if you look at the gold earned here, Azura Skies as well as Dyson looking massive.
Yeah, and then you look at both the Romans, right? Not the wealthiest. Athena shield first item for the Grog, so you don't get one-shotted by Kadira and the Lilia, but you also have the Genius one already for Shackle mode. Top side, 2v2, Azura Skies will show out to match. It's easy. He's a full level ahead of this carry.
Oh, but look at the reinforcements coming in here from DEWA United.
Elohari completely missing that. Oh, just had the flicker. He might be sacrificed though. I don't know what GameLab could do to save him. Elohari, yeah, I mean, he goes down.
Yeah, if you're going to wild charge, you have to commit everything to it, man. And the tough part is when you do lose that flicker, you run out of ways to. Oh wait, hold on, shake him out. Oh, he's still alive.
While that was happening, DEWA United will start working on the Lord of Havos. He's very deep in. Be careful, Shaco mode, brought down low, the Petrify is going to be there. Havos getting outplay actually, but still dashes out with the Electro final blow as this Lord dangerously low. Takinaga doesn't have the damage build, so he's taking a while to whittle down this Lord. It's going to be a flip. Takinaga is going to hit that level, hit that level 12 actually. Lanaya still losing out the Retrify, even though he hit that level 12 in time. Not that it matters though, DEWA United still finds 2 kills.
Yeah, they still find 2 kills, and now the conversion is here. If GameLab can protect this mid-tier 1, the jungle might have some gold to work with.
Aizawa had the flicker because of the glue showing up. Just like that, DEWA United will get this mid-tier 1. I don't know if you want to stay there if you're Elo Hardy. Yeah, it's best to back off. How much can GameLab get out of this? I don't think too much.
Yeah, not too much yet, but let's keep in mind that DEWA United Esports are only 2K ahead, and again, this Lord push is basically non-existent for GameLab. A majority of their members are still down. However, in terms of the timings, right, of when the minions actually spawn, it should mean that DEWA United Esports will be able to clear these waves before it does any irreversible damage.
Yuktisi was giving Lanaya a massage just now. I honestly thought it would be a lot more true damage. DEWA United gathering mid-side again. Lanaya pushing up top. And woo!
Azura Skies is scaling fast.
Oh, he is.
He's scaling really fast. How many items does he actually have? Okay, BOD, Malefic Roar, and then 2 Legion Swords. Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, Haas Core. Now there's 3 items. Haas Core done.
Alright, so Shaco Mode ends up dying there. Doesn't use the Petrify, but there's nothing to really fight for, right? There's no conversion coming in from GameLab. So that's why Shaco Mode is trying his absolute best to kind of like maintain that speed. Yuktisi finally getting his 3rd item here. Now he's got damage, but how does he get into the fight?
Oh, engaged in the jungle. Wild Charge only stunning until Lanaya. Meanwhile, fortunately for Aizawa, he got caught out. They just dive him. GameLab able to pull the attention of DEWA United apart. And in return, Havos gets this mid-tier 1.
I think, you know, GameLab have kind of shifted the way they look at the game. It's not about team fighting anymore because DEWA United Esports have been doing it a lot better than them. So now it's about macro, right? Getting that advantage, trying pulling away members, especially Shaco Mode, who has been quite the thorn in GameLab's side.
You can say the same for Takinaga, who brought DEWA United for kind of a walk in the park. I mean, GameLab did lose the bot tier 2 though, so the map pretty even for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, 4 structures to 4 structures, 1 Lord compared to 3 turtles. DEWA United Esports, they've got to start diversifying here, right? They can't just be giving GameLab all the space.
GameLab will call dips on the Lord first. Havos runs into a trap, he's dead.
Unlucky. Uses the eye for an eye slightly early, and Shaco Mode taking full advantage of it. Delayed on that Petrified. Lord is going to spawn. GameLab is 1 man down. Takanaga, he's going to have to try and get his 50-50 down once again.
And the fact that Havos went down means that the way to start shoving it again, right? You basically just kind of messed up the equilibrium in your favor. DEWA United start working on this Lord. Azura Skies, they can try and check the brush. Sees Takenaga. Bottom wave is stacking up for Game Lab. They still want to contest this Lord. Flicker in, Wild Charge, Elo Hardy all alone. Azura Skies forced away from the fight. Might be an opening for Game Lab, but DEWA United, they're gonna come in from the back. Shackle mode again, finding Yuktizi. Takenaga, can you steal the Lord again?
Oh!
No, the most important retribution goes the favor of Lanaya, and DEWA United finally takes the control of the game.
That's so unlucky. The position of the Lord was blocking the visual cue for the knockup, and unfortunately, that means that Takenaga got knocked out by the Lord itself, working against him.
Seems like today, Fate is not on Game Lab's side. They gotta defend this. TZ is back in 2 seconds, but DEWA United Esports can look to do heavy damage to the base. Havos dancing with death. Elo Hardy doing the same. Wild Charge out to safety. Yuktizi back in action. Takenaga also back to life. The knockguy's gonna be there. The Petrify, and they found Yuktizi again. Shackle mode on the Kadita. Name me a better combo. DEWA United wipe Game Lab off the face of the Land of Dawn, and it's a game-winning fight. DEWA United Esports 2-0 over Game Lab.
Oh my goodness. DEWA United Esports take the win 2-0. A clean sweep against Game Lab here. Hats off to these boys. Mechanically gifted, but they are a different beast in these team fights. Disgusting coordination.
14 minutes and 9 seconds. Absolute destruction through and throughout.
Oh boy, I do think that Game Lab, like,